Hello, Gaia again for Class 2 of Brainwashing 101. This should have gone into the first class, but I forgot to add it first. So what I'd like you to think about and suggest that you do is not to believe anything at all that you've been taught. Anything at all. Other than perhaps something of a very positive nature, something objectively positive, not subjectively positive, such as we're lucky we're rich, and you're so smart, and it's good to be rich. Money, we have a lot of money, and that's really good. We're really lucky to have a lot of money. We have a beautiful house. That's very important to have a beautiful house. Stuff like that. That's not positive at all. That is subjective. I don't really know so much that is objective, that is positive, that is universally positive. Let me think. Can you think of anything that would be considered universally positive for everybody? I don't know, because I like to include everyone, not just Americans or people, wealthy people or comfortable people. I'd like to include everyone. Everyone. Let me tell you something. You know what they say, and I've read this everywhere, that the most horrible punishment that you can give a person is to isolate them. Physically isolate them. That in those Supermax prisons, I think they have one in Colorado, that everybody there is locked up in solitary confinement. I don't know if they give them any books or anything, but they apparently are really in solitary confinement, and nobody talks to them. They get their food through some little small area through the door. They don't even see the hands, apparently, of whoever slides the slop into their little cage. I guess 1 hour a week or something. I think that's it. They get an hour out in the so-called exercise yard, all alone, with no one else in sight. And it's not with trees or anything. It's just supposed to be some, kind of ugly concrete. Small place. I don't know if they can kick a ball around or anything, but they are, I guess, technically outside. I don't know if that's true or not. I really don't know too much about it. Apparently it's supposed to be pretty horrible, and some people are stuck there for years and years and years and years and years. And what they say, without any contact with anyone other than, I guess if you get sick, some doctor will come and examine you, and that's like the happiest day of your life if you get sick, because at least some human contact is there for you. Otherwise, most people go nuts because of being solitary. This is like the ultimate punishment. Great way to torture people without even touching them. You feed them okay. You don't leave the light on all night to torture them. I mean, the bed is okay. It may not be, like some $5,000 custom king-size bed that you might get at some five-star hotel. But, it's clean. Your clothes are clean, and the temperature's okay, and you got a toilet, and I guess you get a shower a couple times a week, and your clothes are clean, and, so in every other way, you're treated humanely, I guess, except that you don't get to see anything. And this is torture. Well, you know what? That doesn't have to be true. In fact, nothing that you're told that's negative need be true. You're told it's true. For some reason, you believe it's true. Maybe you get all kinds of, maybe logically it sounds true. Maybe when you were a little kid, your punishment was to go to your room and be alone and not be able to watch TV or do anything, and you're all alone. And so you associate that with punishment. So, of course, be isolated, put in isolated, solitary confinement would, of course, trigger the notion that this was a punishment and you would not like it. On the other hand, there are people, Kabbalist, Benedictine monks, who seem to enjoy this quite a bit. They spend all their time alone, and they do this voluntarily. They enjoy it quite a lot. They do. They find it to be a time. They find it actually a luxury for them. It gives them time, the luxury to be able to focus on what they enjoy, spiritual things. These people seem to not need to be entertained by others. They don't seem to need a lot of people around or anyone around. They're not interested in fads. They have no interest in iPhones, iPads, fashion, looks, or anything else is brainwashed into everybody into being the cool, right way to do it. And if you don't do it that way, you're something wrong with you, or you just are a loser. Or, in the case of these mega maxi prisons, you're a criminal and you're being punished. Of course, as I said, it is all sort of subjective. And you need not believe this to be a bad thing. I've been all on my own for a few days now. Really all alone for a few days now. And I've come up with all kinds of interesting ideas. Believe me, I haven't gone nuts. I'm not hearing voices. I'm not seeing things that aren't there. I don't have disturbing thoughts. Actually, I've come up with a lot of really cool thoughts, I think. At least they're cool to me. And that's why I've made now, I think, 3 videos. This is the 3rd one. And so this is just an idea. As I said, I have to keep this short because unlike my past channel, when I could go on for as long as I liked, I haven't bothered to give them my phone number, which would allow me to talk forever. And I think it's better I not talk forever because I love to talk, but really, I know you really don't want to listen or don't have the time to listen for as long as I am able to talk, no matter how interesting it might be. And if it's boring, then then you can turn it off quicker and you haven't missed anything. So, they say things like, oh, if you're the product of a broken home, you'll grow up all screwed up. Well, yeah, you can be, especially if you're told that's going to happen to you. And if you come from a really, really dysfunctional family, where you've been abused as a child. And if you're told when you grow up, because you have no psychological insight whatsoever. And someone comes to you and says, my dear, you're doing so well. It must be a miracle that you've shown no signs of damage. And you look at them and you say, huh, what are you talking about? Because you never heard about it. No one ever told you you were going to have some emotional problem because, whatever bad thing happened to you. Until some well-meaning person comes up to you and informs you this is what's supposed to happen to you. So, just don't listen to anybody about that bullshit. Like when you were a kid and you stayed up late and your mommy said, now girls, you better get some sleep now. You don't get your sleep, go to sleep, because if you don't, you'll be real tired in the morning. Well, you're having a good time, and you're not thinking if you get only about 5 hours sleep that there's any problem. You're going to get up early. You don't know. You're a brand new person. But they're brainwashing you. Slowly but surely, into getting your 8 hours, you're going to be tired. And people can't function on 5 hours. But that's not necessarily true at all. It's only true if you believe it's true. And they'll tell you, you can't do that. I remember someone told me, my best friend told me I'd never make it through graduate school. They said, forget it. You just won't make it. I know you won't make it. Well, I wanted to make it so much that I didn't see that friend of mine for a long time. And not only did I make it through, but I made it through with honors. Honors, according to my mentor, I was the best student he ever had. If I'd listened to my buddy, my oldest and best friend, I'm sure I would have flunked out. It's all what you believe. When people as well-intentioned as they can be can really and do really affect your life and turn you into what they want to turn you into. And they can turn you into anything they damn well please. If they're terrified of cats, trust me, so will you be. They'll make sure you hate them. Whatever they like, you'll like. If you love them, you'll follow in their footsteps. If they're shitty parents, if you can't stand them, chances are you'll love everything they hate and hate everything they love. Either way, you're molded by them, either toward or against it, whatever it is. Trust me, this is fact. Think about your own life. If you're some religious fanatic who is some devout Catholic who's never had sex because he's terrified that if he does, he'll go to hell because he's such a devout Catholic. So, he doesn't, which is ridiculous. But he believes his religion is the only religion. He'll die for that silly religion, which is a man-made thing. And no one brainwashed me into believing that. I came up with that all on my own because I came from a really weird family where no one brainwashed me into anything other than whether curse or blessing. It was such a dysfunctional family that I had to parent myself. So I'm the one that came up with whatever was true or whatever was false. No one told me. And the only thing that was brainwashed about me is that anything that my mother did, I hated. She was a Republican, I hated it. She hated travel, I love travel. She hated education, I've always loved education. So in a way, she did me a real good deed. And she was a very loving mother. I really like the way I am, even though I suffered quite a bit from having such a kind of a mother who was such a fucking drunk that didn't give a shit about her children. And yet there was a silver lining, yes there was. I'm very happy with who I am. Bye for now.